the Emerging India Forum TIFF, Lions Club of Mumbai Shining, India Business Group IBG, Indian Chamber of International Business ICIB, and Prime Infotech Solution, our tech partner. Today's theme is hybrid work models, flexi space, and co working industries. In an Advantage Learning Bite session, we invite a subject expert speaker for mini conversation to share their knowledge on a very trending topic. Hi, I am your host Jolly Singh, and our guest speaker for today is Meenal Sinha. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Jolly.
Meenal Sinha is an entrepreneur, co working expert, mentor, speaker, and startup founder. So let's get started with our today's conversation. And, ma'am, my first question to you would be, can you explain the concept of hybrid work models and how they are transforming the traditional office environment?
So, first of all, Jolly, thank you so much for inviting me over for the Coffee Conversation show. And a special thanks to Amir for organizing this entire thing. Um, I expert saying that I'm expert is a bit too much. The industry is evolving, I am evolving, and I'm ever learning. And that's the fun of actually working, I think. And like we are here to discuss, the entire concept of hybrid work and what are the best practices and sharing what are the tips that one could use and learning as much from the audience, which I hope will engage in conversation on our social media channels later. See, hybrid work is basically it has existed for a long time, but it's only because of 2020 and the pandemic that it has come to the forefront. Uh, in basic terms, it is a mix of remote working plus on site working. That is what hybrid work is. The various models are something the organizations are, I think, still figuring out. However, what people are not keeping in mind is that for every organization, every company, they have a different DNA, they have a different culture, and the right solution for them has to be different. It has to be as per their teams, as per their users, and within the organization, there are different user segments. For some, it is very important to be on site all the time, and for some, it is easier to work remotely. What the organizations need to do is figure out how many employees actually need to be in the main HQ all the time, and then maybe create opportunities for other teams to work a couple of days a week or every day every week, but closer to their residential hubs. And it could be team based, it could be geographical location based solutions. um, while doing that, they have to ensure that the entire team is able to get together as well, because it is only when you meet everybody in the organization that you realize that you're part of something much larger. You are able to share in the vision. So while some work from home, some work from office, some work from close to home, not just WFO and WFH, but also WFCH, that is important, and you have to evolve and find the right mix.
Yes, ma'am. And how does the flex space industry cater to adopting hybrid work models?
So see, as I mentioned, the companies need to understand what is the right model for them. So if there is an enterprise that is looking at, finding solutions closer to their employees' residential hubs, they will need an expert who will be able to identify these residential hubs, and they can create various what we call the hub and spoke model. A, they can optimize their entire real estate footprint, reduce their fixed expenses on a single large office, take a much smaller HQ, and then have multiple smaller offices closer to their where employees stay. Now, when they need these smaller offices, the best solution is taking co-working spaces which are not just large open spaces, which can give you private offices, which can give you managed offices, which can give you custom built solutions depending on the organization's needs. I have a lot of clients ourselves who are moving all their branch offices in tier 2 cities, and other than their HQ, everything is moving to co-working spaces and managed offices. So it is this industry which is also like I said, I'm learning because the industry is evolving at such a huge pace. So today you can book day passes. You can book, just go pick and choose your location and work from wherever you want. A total flexible solution. You can find, 20-seater offices, or just for your teams. You can only book meeting rooms, conference rooms, whatever is required. And all that is possible because of the flex space industry, because of the co-working industry. That's where it comes into play.
You have already mentioned some hybrid working, but I would like for you to elaborate more on the advantages of using co-working spaces for business embracing hybrid work models.
Okay. So, see, when you're looking at hybrid work models, like I said, you have to figure out that, whether you want multiple offices, you are happy for team to go pick and choose which center is closest to their residential hub and work from there. A manager wants to call their entire team together. This is all possible by booking meeting rooms, day passes, and it is not necessary that employees have to do this on their own. Organizations can pre-curate and pre-approve the list, keeping all the organization standards in mind, safety, health aspects, everything, and the basic facilities and amenities are available. And what happens with co-working spaces is you do not have to tie in for a long term. You have the availability to be totally flexible and adapt how much space you need, for how long do you need. You can of course sign up for three years, and you can sign up for whole buildings. But the thing is, when you're actually looking at smaller teams and doing the right mix of hybrid, you want your team to be sending, or rather I would say be wasting their time managing an office setup. Somebody has to figure about, even if it's a fully furnished office, somebody has to figure out all the admin aspects of it, right? And so any organization focuses on, help their clients, that they are experts in whatever product or service they are offering, right? Similarly, co-working people industry, we are experts managing your offices for you. Do not waste your product time running your office, because that's not any organization's core business, unless of course they're a managed office player or a co-working industry. And plus also, even for the centralized HQ, when you're looking at flexible terms and you're looking at a smaller office, however, you want the advantage of being part of a much larger place. You want to invest in your team's well-being, their engagement activities. Again, while you focus on your core business, there's somebody else who's planning how to keep your team motivated and engaged. And your team, during the various breaks, they are meeting clients from different industries. It leads to emotional well-being. It leads to a high productivity level, because you study any of the best productivity tools and techniques, whether it's the Japanese philosophy or anywhere else in the world, and read any of the books on the success stories. You do need to take a break. You need to you do need to step back every few hours to understand what you're doing, and you do need to expand your horizons to be able to contribute to your own work better. The community angle that a co-working player brings into your employees' well-being, and also being able to just, sometimes you just want to get out and just de-stress, just have a coffee and talk to somebody else who's not related, meaning work-wise. There are times when you don't even want to talk to your family. Let's face it, we all go through it. And if you're just talking to a stranger from another organization doing something totally different, it just brings that much more effectiveness, I think, in your work. So I think those are some of the advantages.
Space is something which should be at the top of every go-to list for every organization and company for increasing their productivity and for the well-being of their employees. And so, ma'am, can you share some examples of successful companies that have effectively implemented hybrid work models and utilized flex spaces or co-working spaces?
So you know what, Jolly, I obviously would not like to name clients, either my own clients or other companies' clients and organizations, without having their pre-approvals. Can't just name companies who are using it without having, because these are all large enterprises, right? that we're talking about that
Fair
one has
enough.
to keep in mind. But I will some examples without organizations wherein, again, like I said, large enterprise, multinationals who have shifted all their branch offices, 30 people, 35 people, 40 people, 50 people, everybody to co-working spaces and managed offices. There's another large Indian conglomerate who's shifted at least 30 cities across the country, who've again these branch offices and sales offices ranging from 50 to 100 seaters, all to co-working spaces. Again, to correct the terminology, these are more customized managed office solutions that people are doing for them, and not just, you know, uh, co-working, retail co-working, what I call. Uh, Again, so this is not something that is limited to a client A or a client B or, a SME or a freelancer or a startup. These are all large multinationals and Indian conglomerates, and everybody has seen the benefit of moving part of their teams or their entire teams, in fact, to co-working spaces. And this is something that has not just started happening. In fact, I started in this industry way back in 2007 in India. And internationally, there have been what we used to call at that time serviced offices and business centers since 1970s. So while the concept is evolving, it is not really something new. I hope that answers your question to some extent.
Yes, ma'am. Fair enough. And we have like got a very broad idea of who are like C space and co-working spaces, and our viewers must have got the idea what they are looking for. Ma'am, also we have already talked about how hybrid work models are impacting the productivity and satisfaction of their employees. We have already talked about it. You have mentioned quite a bit about it. But are there any specific strategies or best practices to ensure a positive work experience in this setup?
See, the positive experience in any setup, whether it is your own office or it is a co-working space, always has to be there, right? That is something an organize, like I said in the beginning, the organization's own culture DNA has to be kept in mind. However, there are a lot of options available in the market today. You have to find what is the right mix for you. In order to find the right mix for you, you really need to understand what are the solutions available. uh, uh, for example, you know, for certain organizations and certain teams, factor A might be important. For other organizations, factor B might be more important. However, not all the players be very strong in providing you that factor A or amenity A. So you have to pick and choose very wisely and find the right mix. So people have a lot of concerns, for example, about technology. They feel that IT security is being compromised. What they don't understand is A, of course, um, they're large multinationals using these facilities, and co-working players take all proper protocols. There are organizations who have HSE norms which run into, 10, 10, 20, 20 pages, and organizations, the co-working players and the service office and managed office operators ensure that all these guidelines and requirements, mandates are met. People can bring their own these lines. You can ask for a VPN. You can put your own firewalls. Everything is possible even within this environment, and it is not that your security and confidentiality is at risk any more than it is at any other place. If you're an organization who's very very uh, you know uh, firm about, or your business requirement is that IT security issues need to be taken care of, you can always bring in your own lease line. You can create your own firewalls. You can ask for your own. You can bring your own servers. You can bring the servers. You can create a room. You can put your switches, routers, whatever it is that you need. And you, of course, have your private space, which is access controlled only to you. You can put your own access controls if you need. So the solutions are available in today's market. You just need to know what is your requirement, because it is only when you are able to spell out your requirement that somebody else will be able to provide the solution to you.
Exactly, ma'am. And like a referral question to this would be, what does role does technology play in supporting hybrid work models and enhancing collaboration within teams? We already stated that companies and organizations can come up with their own set of technology and security and firewalls and everything. But what role technology is going to play in supporting hybrid work models?
So
For
I think that's a brilliant question, and it is a very, very valid question. See what happens, Jolly. Um, okay, let's say there's a company A which has decided it wants its employees to be able to, go to co-working spaces closest to their homes or whatever. How are these people going to find the ones that have been shortlisted by the organization? Right? Either they go with only one service provider or they go with aggregators who are giving that convenience and that facility to the employees. One is that, so they should be able to uh, pick and choose, make the booking without having to make the payment, and actually go use those spaces. The second point with technology is very important. So, yes, you are making the booking easy, but organizations need the data. It's all about data, right? Because they should be able to see how many employees are actually going for this facility, which geography, which city, which micro market, what level of people, which teams, so that they can keep on enhancing the experience for their organization and for their employees. I hope that answers your question a bit.
Absolutely, ma'am. And my next question would be, how do companies address concerns around data security and confidentiality when adopting hybrid work models and
I think
utilizing
I
flex?
already answered this question when I spoke about IT
Yes, ma'am.
security.
Yes, ma'am. Adding to that would be, what advice would you give to the companies who are considering transitioning to a hybrid work model, keeping in mind all the security and confidentiality strategies that we have been talking about in this session, and everything, or exploring the use of flex spaces or co-working spaces, keeping in mind all the advantages, increasing the productivity, security strategies, technology, and everything? What advice would you give to the companies who are thinking for moving ahead with this new culture and new habit?
Okay. First of all, I would like to reiterate co-working works and how. You just need to know the right mix. Hybrid working and hybrid workspaces and solutions are the way to move forward. Now, how do you maximize the advantages that hybrid work solutions can give you? Um, First of all, you need to really do great planning and put time, effort, energy, or work with an expert. I would, of course, recommend working with an expert, somebody who understands the client requirements and also understands what the industry has to offer. And I'm not saying they all have to come to us. There are multiple such players in the market. They can figure out who to go to. Somebody who understands the organization's DNA well and culture well and is willing to put in the hard work. So the planning is very important. You need to understand where are your employees based, what are the various segments depending on users, what are the various segments on role basis, what are the end goals, and it has to all tie in beautifully. Because for somebody um, having multiple offices, will somebody letting the employees go to the place closest to their homes twice a week and work from home rest of the days will work. For somebody it would be a mix of all the solutions, and some people will need to call all their employees to office every single day, or different teams to the same office different days of the week, or call everybody to the same place at least once a fortnight. So it all has to be mapped out and planned, and we have to understand everything can evolve. The solution can also evolve. You can see, like I said, the data points are very important. Look at the data, do a 3-month run, understand what is working for you, what is not working for you, and accordingly take it forward. That is one of the very big advice. And the second thing I would tell the companies to do is don't come with a mindset which is very rigid. You are, after all, looking at flexible spaces, so be flexible in your outlook, because there is just so many, what should I call, myths maybe around that. Oh, but this works only for freelancers, this works only for startups. How can I have 1 lakh employees or 2,000 employees, and I have people spread across 30 cities in the country. Who will find me the right solution? And this is a waste of time, and people will not be happy. No, try it out. Your employees are going to be happier, because ultimately today it is all about keeping your employees motivated, right? See, I think any business is all about people, right? If your people are happy, they will make sure your brand is represented to the best of their abilities and in the best light, and they will make sure your business rocks. The CXOs only have to ensure that their people are happy. People will be happier if they don't have to waste time stuck in traffic. People will be happier. However, people will also be happier if they are not stuck at home working in silos. 60% of all employees, this is a recent Forbes study, in fact, 60% of all employees want other human interaction of colleagues and other professionals, right? So give them safe, compliant, happy spaces where there are activities other than just work. There are companies who feel that, if you go to a co-working space, there are so many activities that employees' productivity comes down. Data suggests otherwise. All international studies suggest otherwise. See, when you have to work, you will work. And if your employees are or any of your employees are more interested in just signing in and then wasting their time, they are anyways not the right employee, whether they're at home or in the same office. If somebody doesn't want to work, they will not work. But with the right motivation, if they can complete their task for 8 hours and 5 hours because they are supercharged, there's the harm, right? So you have to come with an open mind and give it a chance and actually understand what all our industry has to offer. Like I tell my clients, everything is possible at a cost.
Absolutely, ma'am. And it would be very apt to say that be flexible with flexi spaces and you will surely succeed.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We have come to the end of our beautiful session, and thank you so much for giving your valuable time. I'm sure our audience have received and noted down your insightful advices and suggestions. We have for our own working space and for our own reference. We have surely done that. Thank you so much. And for our audience, I would like to tell that the Advantage Learning Bite sessions will be available on the Coffee Conversation Show channel on YouTube. Please like, share, and subscribe our channel. And we would be looking forward to yet another subject expert with yet another topic. Share your comments on channel, the Coffee Conversation Show, and be a part of these special curated sessions. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining. Thank you so much.